murder as a crime is like really kind of last year.
Welcome to season 6, where we're phoning it in.
You don't think critically and then put a Pop-Tart into your body.
I am highly caffeinated and minorly concussed.
Aruga! What came first, the love sack or the gravity gun?
It's my turn to do a sin with Sonic.
This is for the freaks.
Too much piss.
That's the kind of bad decisions we like to hear about.
Love me a sleepy ass bat.
How much shrimp can you fit in your mortal body?
You told me you guys would be cool.
That's season 6 intro material right there.
Hello and welcome to season 6 of Debate This, the show where no one is right, but this is the wrong notes.
fucking
No
got
one is
him.
right, but these notes.
Fucking got him. The last set of notes.
Woo. Hello and welcome to Debate This. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how it actually took me owning an air fryer for me to realize I used to watch Chef Tony hawk these bad boys for 3 hours at a time on Saturday afternoon for 4 easy payments of $39.99.
That might just be a you thing.
These things were on infomercials in the 90s, and I used to watch infomercials as like entertainment. I loved watching the demos.
Oh, so you didn't have cable.
I didn't have cable. This was before
There
cable.
it
Yes.
is. Oh,
Kyle, what are
okay.
you currently air frying?
Anything and everything. I made eggs this
dreams.
morning. I was flipping through like the recipe book, and it said like you can cook a whole chicken in 18 minutes, and that like
Horse shit.
awakened something in the back of my mind. Is like I've heard that before, and then it all these infomercial flashbacks came flooding back to me.
That feels like the same energy as the people that are like, you can deep fry a turkey. It's not hard and your house won't catch on fire.
Right.
Like, it's got that
Yeah.
same kind of energy to me.
Mm-hmm. It sure does. Well, guys, this is season 6 of Debate This, and we are all making some changes in this season.
Oh yeah.
And here's my change. True crime is more popular than ever. And now that we have a taste of corporate sponsorship, I have become accustomed to this more elevated lifestyle and won't feel complete until the void in my life is filled with material goods. So I am changing Debate This into a true crime podcast. But like every true crime podcast, we need our own spin on it. So today, we are going to talk about real crimes and unsolved mysteries within the world of video games. Today, I'm hearing pitches from Matt Cole Phillips Cole, Andrew Nick Valentine Henderson, and Todd John Blacksad Thomas for our first killer season that is going to draw in a ton of listeners, shill some foam top mattresses to them, and get them listening long enough that we become a part of their weekly routine so we can let the quality of our research slip without that big of a drop-off.
Okay, I have two things. One, those names are rad. Great. No notes.
They are all video game detectives.
I knew Nick Valentine.
Sounds right.
That's the only one
I didn't
knew.
know any of those.
I didn't
Cool.
either.
Well, you see, Nick Valentine is from your favorite series, Fallout, Matt.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yep.
it's been a long time since I injected that lore into my head. It's been replaced with other things.
The only video game detective I know is the guy in Heavy Rain that wears the VR headset.
I specifically did not put
Yeah.
Heavy Rain in there.
Yeah. Point two, this honestly feels very fitting because if you didn't know anything about our show, you would think we were a legal show anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yes, if this is your first episode of Debate This, we are a legal show transitioning into true crime.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just trying to find our feet, you know?
Yep. Just
Really
trying to
here
get
at
out there.
season 6. Yeah, trying
Yeah, this was prompted. I guess iHeart is launching their own subscription level of just true crime shows. Like it's like
Really?
True Crime Plus by iHeart is a new like
Mm.
level of subscription you can subscribe to iHeart.
I have a lot of thoughts. But I
Yeah,
don't
so
wanna share them.
did I.
I did subscribe to a like premium podcast feed for like a different thing. Like, it's so stupid. It's stupid that podcasts have battle passes. I'm pissed.
Speaking of battle passes for podcasts, please go to patreon.com/debatethiscast
That's good.
where you can commission your own episodes, join our Discord, and get extra content.
Yeah, we're running a special. You get a free Goku skin for every flavor text that you commission this month.
Yes, we will totally send those out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to send those out.
Yeah,
Is it like a real life Goku skin or like
It's Goku's
I think we should
skin.
record the
Goku's
episode now.
actual skin.
Okay, guys. So, tell me your pitch for the first season of True Crime Debate This. We are talking an entire season. We will be covering this specific true crime issue. So please tell me your story that will take up an entire season of podcasting. So we only have to research once.
Yeah, Kyle, when it comes to true crime, I think that we now can advance past the unsolved murder. I think that murder as a crime is like really kind of last year.
Boring.
Exactly.
So passe.
They're dead. What are you gonna do? So I think it's time for us to advance the genre of true crime forward and start talking about organized crime, white collar, mob boss level organized crime.
This is my favorite flavor of Matt argument. It is the same energy as Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and here's
Right.
why. It's let me answer your answer with a non-answer and tell you how it isn't in fact the best answer.
Well, you wanted this. What you actually wanted was this.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I answer questions, it's like leaving on a hike and knowing where I'm trying to get to, not knowing how I'm going to get there. Anyway, we're going to advance the genre of true crime forward as we start to talk about organized crime. Kyle, we are all familiar with the ongoing existence of a fight club in this universe, and that fight club is called Super Smash Brothers. And that, Kyle, is something we all know, and we all know most of the people who fight in Super Smash Brothers. But Kyle, what we don't know is who is pulling the strings, who is organizing these illegal fights between coworkers, friends, family members, lovers, relatives. They are forcing fights to happen. And Kyle, we here at DT exclamation point colon TC division, True Crime Division, we are going to investigate who is behind the strings, who is organizing this shadowy fight club. And Kyle, I have great news. We know who it is. And you'll find out this season on Super Fight Club Brothers.
Excellent.
I realize what it is. What you did, Matt, is the Michael Scott quote from The Office. Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. It's that. That's what this was.
Yep. Any questions?
I think he found it. I have a question. Why would we do an episode on a season on this if we know who it is, Matt?
See, that's the thing, Kyle. We don't tell them who it is in the beginning. The season is us explaining to the listener how we found out who it is.
Okay.
And then at the very end, the finale, we tell them.
I like
They've
that.
been listening the whole time.
Yeah.
That we are the story. We, the investigators, are the main characters of this podcast. The listeners are hearing our discovery journey of what will be revealed in the final episode.
Gotcha.
It's like the QAnon doc. Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly like the QAnon doc.
Dangling a carrot the whole time. Tickling their balls a little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
If you
Like
will.
that less, but okay.
It's different.
I feel like there's in the list of euphemisms, I feel like dangling a carrot and tickling the balls.
There's a lot in
of-
between. There's a lot in between there, and I just jumped right from one to the next.
No time for messing around.
This is my show. Yeah.
No time for dangling carrots.
Andrew, what season of true crime do you have for us?
The year was 2011. A thick cloud of fog rolled in over the sleepy town of Inaba, and with it came a series of tragedies to which this backwater village would forever be inexorably linked. The nightmare began one particularly foggy morning when a promising young TV reporter named Mayumi Yamano was found dead, hanging upside down from a telephone pole. Miss Yamano, a local celebrity who had grown to notoriety after an illicit affair between her and a politician married to a prolific folk singer, had gone public That's a long sentence. Had fled to Inaba to avoid the cameras and the paparazzi. She was last seen checking into a room at the historic Amagi Inn and then mysteriously disappeared, to only later be found dead by a local high school student days later. The death of Mayumi Yamano was ultimately ruled by local Inaba to be a suicide, thought to be brought on by the fallout of her affair going public. That was until the high school student who found her also wound up dead in the same way only a few weeks later. Coming soon from Wondery in partnership with Atlas and DT Productions comes Reach Out to the Truth, the story of how a group of spunky teens band together to solve a string of mysterious deaths through the power of friendship and summoning demons representing their individual quests for self-acceptance to fight against other demons in a magical TV dimension linked to the town's collective unconscious. I'm doing Persona 4. That's Persona 4. It's Persona 4.
I don't care anything about Persona 4. I do have a problem, and that problem is that I end my bit with a Wondery joke, and I don't think we can both make Wondery jokes.
Well, I think we all have room for Wondery jokes today.
Yeah, everybody gets Wondery.
Everybody gets Wondery. This venture is co-sponsored by Wondery. I didn't reach out to them; it just happened, so we're fine.
Yeah, that's it. That's Persona 4. I don't know what else do you want me to say.
Todd.
I was just thinking how in Persona, when they go to the dream dimension or whatever it is they do, they have really cool outfits, and it's kind of just like Reboot.
I mean, it isn't not Reboot. You're not that far off. It is a virtual world where they all like have cool costumes. Also, I named my show Reach Out to the Truth. You guys didn't appreciate that because that's what the battle theme is called.
I knew that was a reference to something in Persona 4, but I know next to nothing about Persona 4.
I know two songs from Persona. Is that one of the two?
One of the freaks out there will get that.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Is like I'll let that be for.
Yeah, it is in Smash Brothers. It's one of the songs that they ported in Smash Brothers.
Great, Todd, pitch us your season.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing here.
Mm-hmm. Do the thing.
A quiet town, complete with a town hall, general store, and farmer's market. Nestled quietly on the edge of peaceful Rest Valley, Happy Happy Village hides a history that is in fact anything but happy. In the year 1990X, Happy Happy Village was home to the Happy Happy cult, led by a man using the alias Mr. Carpenter, who drew power from a golden statue that harnessed evil forces that he could not begin to fathom. This Wondery / Gizmodo short form series titled The Manny Manny Problems of Happy Happy Valley draws attention back to the mysterious appearance and disappearance of the Happy Happy cult, its electrifying leader, its victims, and how the town found peace. The Happy Happy cult and their religion, known as Happy Happyism, is just the beginning of this story. And just because a story may have an end doesn't mean that it's happy.
Okay, here's what I like about this.
Yeah? Because it's from Earthbound, is that it?
Yes, yes. 2, I really like that we all took we are representing the 3 pillars of true crime here today.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got straight up murder, we've got cults, and we've got white collar crime, like the Theranos doc. And that's it. We've got them all.
No one has like the medical malpractice of Dr. Death, but it's just like in the between.
Well, we haven't done the super secret yet, so
I will reveal at the end which one of those 3 is the one type of true crime I actually do like, but I won't let it influence your answers.
Kyle's a big white collar crime guy, just personally.
Yeah.
Not really for docs, just like
just
just doing
committing,
it.
Absolutely, yes. My favorite type of crimes is white collar.
That's why they call him Kyle Commit Tax Fraud Harper.
Those are the carrots that he chases.
Yep.
Kyle likes white collar crime the way I like golf, which is I prefer to participate, but I don't enjoy watching.
Circle gets the square, Matt. Wow. All right, guys. So, moving ahead. If we're being honest, most true crime stories could be summed up in about 30 minutes to an hour. But we need to fill out a whole season here because we only want to research the one time and we want to sell as much ad space as possible. So how are you going to stretch this story of one crime into about 12 hours of content. Matt.
Yeah, Kyle. When it comes to the Fight Club, known as Super Smash Brothers, every fighter's story starts with a letter. An unlabeled invitation to join a secret underground society. Who are these fighters? Why do they fight? Do these things have any indication as to who runs this Fight Club? No, but there are 89 of them, and we'll do an episode talking with each one. Kyle, listeners will come along the journey that we, the hosts, go on together, traveling across the country to locations seemingly involved with a white-collar crime, but really are just places that we found on Reddit to stop and record with our audio recorder. We will converse about the things we are finding out from these telling interviews, as we are also just filing like the right paperwork to find out who runs the business, because everybody knows that this happens. We will be doing that investigative work while telling the story of us crossing the country, becoming, I don't want to say true crime influencers, but perhaps true crime influencers, talking to these different and interesting people, all building up to the big reveal of the secret that we have known all along. But again, it's easy. Kyle, up front, episode 1, in the trailer, in the preview, in that little episode 0 that's on podcasts these days, that's like 60 seconds of this is what you're going to get on this podcast. We're going to say,
Sure.
and we know who it is. But we're not going to tell them, and they're going to keep coming back because every episode might be the one where we tell you. It'll be episode 90, Kyle. There are 89 fighters. Episode 90, we tell you who it is.
But who's to say that like somebody doesn't just like flag it on their podcast app and just download the last episode?
Well, I mean, who's going to flag something and then actually remember that they flagged it 90 weeks later?
That is an excellent point.
That's a good question.
Do you remember the tabs that you have open on Chrome on your
Nope.
phone right now?
No,
I sure don't.
No, I certainly do not. And will I ever read those tabs? I certainly
No,
will not.
definitely
Matt
not.
was also implying that we would suggest next episode is the episode where we reveal it for 89 straight weeks in a row.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I could. 89 episodes, 1 per fighter. There are, by a quick Google search, 8 episodes that are just Pokemon.
Yeah.
And that's not to mention other non-verbal, let's say that, characters. I'm just curious if you could, for me, Matt, explain to me what like the Yoshi episode goes like.
Yeah, absolutely. Todd, I don't know if you've ever listened to True Crime before, but has there ever been a podcast where they actually talk to all the people that you want them to talk to, or all the people that they say they're going to try to talk to? We will, of course, do an episode for each fighter. We might not talk to that fighter.
Sure.
We might talk to people who know that fighter. We might talk to the guy who works at the bodega that fighter buys Doritos from, but we'll do
Right.
an episode on that fighter.
I also think that there's a version of this that is people being interviewed with voice like covers, you know, and so it's certainly like it's Pichu. You got it. That's what it is.
Listening to you talk about how there's going to be 90 episodes of nothing kind of just elucidated me the fact that like I think true crime is just different Dragon Ball Z.
Dude, yeah, that's why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I would like to pose 2 episodes that I think would be very interesting or maybe not interesting. Me fighter. Who knows what that weird shit's going on?
That guy's a freak.
Well, it's man on the street.
Well, man on the street. Speaking of that guy's a freak, the Bayonetta episode.
That guy's a
Yeah,
freak.
that one's for the freaks.
That one's for the freaks.
Listen, Todd, nothing sells true crime better than an episode that might be a little sexy. Like everybody,
Yeah.
it's not provocative murder porn for nothing. Like there's got to be a little sexy episode.
Got to tickle their balls a little bit.
All right.
Like that
Okay.
less. I still like that less.
I didn't want that.
Can I talk now? Is it my turn yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew, go ahead.
So, Kyle, you might think that the mystery behind Mayumi Yamano and Saki Kanishi, which is the high school student that found her later, you might think that the mystery behind their deaths is as simple as an unfortunate string of suicides, or maybe an elaborate attempt by City Councilman Taro Namatame to erase all traces of the affair. You might think that, but Kyle, the truth is much weirder. And conveniently set to unfold over the course of no less than 8-hour-long episodes, which includes a fake-out suspect halfway through. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
We like a good fake out.
We love a good fake-out, Kyle. Enter our main character who seemingly has nothing to do with any of these mysteries, Yu Narukami. Yu Narukami is a seemingly average high school student who moves from the big city to spend a year living with his uncle and cousin and to begin attending the local Yasogami High School. Now, there isn't much of a record of Narukami before he arrived in Inaba, and no one even knows why or how he got there in the first place. The only record of his life before arriving suggests that his parents worked long stretches abroad. Air quotes, doing a lot of that heavy lifting. Regardless, Narukami quickly builds a sort of cult of personality among his fellow students. Shortly after enlisting, Narukami can be seen gallivanting the halls of Yasogami or loitering around the local Junes department store with his band of rebellious teens, including son of the Junes franchisor Yosuke Hanamura, heir to the historic Amagi Inn Yukiko Amagi, and the rambunctious martial arts fan and ne'er-do-well Chie Satonaka. Now, while this might seem like your everyday tale of bored teens solving a local mystery, you know how they do.
Can't stop those teens.
Can't stop those ding-dang teens. The story gets way stranger when Narukami and friends literally get sucked into a flat-screen TV that's located inside the department store and suddenly find themselves in a twisted mirror dimension crawling with shadow demons that is somehow linked to their own world in a supernatural way that's unconfirmed. One by one, Kyle, the teens encounter scary shadow versions of themselves, which require each of them to stand face to face with the darkest, most hidden parts of themselves in a metaphysical battle for self-discovery and acceptance. Now, it's not just one battle, right? It's got to happen over the course of weeks, and the group will navigate through these mind dungeons, if you will, to find the source of the problem at the center of the dungeon. Now, you might be asking, what does this have to do with a mystery? Well, Kyle, I'm going to tell you. Just after we talk about the next 5 or so months, how Narukami's gang then subsequently extends to include ex-gang member Kanji Tatsumi, notorious teen detective Naoto Shirogane, and worldwide pop sensation Rize Kujikawa. Also, their group may or may not include a horny shadow demon that wears an empty bear mascot's uniform, kind of like Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist, but it's just a weird mascot's uniform. He's there, and he calls himself Teddy. Anyway, in order to identify and catch the real killer, this group of spunky teens is going to have to, one by one, journey through each person's individual self-discoveries and acceptance at a time.
Okay.
And then fight the actual demon monster using the power of friendship and mind robots. Only then can they go and catch the real killer, who also has a scary mind palace with mind robots that they all have to band together the power of friendship and fight.
Now, I have a question for Andrew.
Yes, Todd.
A Persona lore related question.
Yep.
I've only seen bits and pieces of Persona 5, and there is a lovable cat that is part of the team. What you described seemed less good than a lovable cat. At least different. At least different.
It's different.
Was that just a change between 4 and 5 that they're like, okay, maybe we went a little too pervy on 4 and we need to dial it back?
They went a little too pervy on Teddy. Morgana is universally a loved character. Morgana's the cat in 5.
Okay.
Teddy is not a universally loved character. He's a 4 out of 10.
They slid the customization scales to the other direction on 5.
Yeah,
I got
Sure. Andrew, my question, it sounds like a very dense story.
Yeah.
8 episodes. 8 one-hour episodes.
Well, you can cover in 8 one-hour episodes or 80 to 120 hours of playtime, depending on how deep you want to go.
Okay. Maybe we can have some bonus episodes for subscribers or something. Okay. I like that. Todd, tell us more about the Happy Happy Valley.
Yeah, so the many, many problems of
Yes.
Happy Happy Valley. So just full disclosure here, I have binged my share of Wondery podcasts, hence why I dropped Dr. Death, one of my favorite ones. So I am the self-insert for this. I am the person that they're like, we're going to sucker this dude
You're
in.
getting into the thick of this.
Yeah,
research.
this is me. This is
Okay.
you. This is me telling you how they've always gotten me. The people that seek these things out, it's me, can't get enough of dark stories with wild climaxes, and then there's always a big jaw-dropping cliffhanger. There's always a cliffhanger at the end of each episode, and so that is what I have to offer here with the many, many problems of Happy Happy Valley. And so with approximately 12 hours of content here, each episode is going to be about 2 hours, focusing on a different aspect of the rise and the fall of happy happyism. And they're going to feature just incredible cliffhangers before the outro kicks in. And so in the spirit of not spoiling the podcast, I want to describe to you just what the 6 episodes, their outro cliffhangers will be, just to like give you
Please.
a small taste.
Please.
Just to give you a taste. So at episode 1, the ending cliffhanger, citizens recall seeing a man that night moving a large human-sized crate into his house before picking up a phone to place an order for 200 blue masks, 200 robes, and 200 gallons of blue paint. Okay, that's episode 1. Episode 2. Our interview, conducted in a simple living room with the aroma of garlic heavy in the air, ended with the informant who identified themselves as Liar saying, "Selling that statue ended the voices in my head, and I suddenly knew it was someone else's problem now." Okay, so that's good. So episode 3.
That's good.
The cult leader, known only as Mr. Carpainter, heard the voices loud and clear that he must kidnap a random child from the next town over and lock her in a convenient jail cell their town already had built because it was what the statue demanded of him. Okay, episode 4.
I love Earthbound.
It's so stupid. I can't wait for the post show. Episode 4 of 6. He knew that no one could possibly get past his 100-plus strong army of people who had covered their bodies head to toe in blue paint and agreed to stand in a very specific pattern to keep anyone from infiltrating his hideout. Episode 5. His hideout infiltrated, the cult leader knew the small child, armed only with a baseball bat, could not withstand his godlike lightning powers. And then episode 6. Having been beaten by the small child who could withstand his godlike lightning powers, the cult disbanded as quick as they had seemingly appeared. But what became of the evil Manny Manny statue? It's textbook, Kyle. The secret to keeping people coming back just week by week or every other week, however we want to milk this. I don't know. The secret to keeping them coming back is 119 minutes of okay enough content with the occasional bit of drama that ends on a gripping high note. And that is what I'm giving you today in the many, many problems of Happy Happy Valley.
All right.
I forgot that it was called the Manny Manny statue, and I do want to call out and give you props for that title. That's very good.
It's a very good title. Now that I know the statue, yeah.
The statue is the evil Manny Manny statue. It had a different name in like the Japanese version. It was like the demon statue or like the monster, the devil statue. And then in the translation, they're like, "Ooh, we can't say that.
Yep.
Let's just say evil." It's a golden statue that looks like a devil that runs surprisingly way more through the Earthbound storyline than I remembered it doing. And that's, once I scratched the surface, I was like, oh, this is the whole thing. But yeah, many, many problems of Happy Happy Valley.
Nice.
6 episodes, 119 minutes of good enough and 1 great ending minute.
You have provided a lot of supporting evidence for Andrew's earlier claim that true crime is just DBZ for a different,
Pretty sure.
a different set of
Yes,
fans.
119 minutes of powering up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then 1 minute of Kamehameha.
Like, how unhinged, like, if I got fired tomorrow, I think, like, my unhinged project would be me a fake true crime documentary that's just the Frieza saga.
But you change the details enough that no one catches on until it's too late, until they're hooked. I like that.
Anyway.
I like that a lot. All right. So we've generated enough buzz. Podcasts are cheap enough to produce. We have already been renewed for a second season.
Damn.
How are you going to follow up season 1 with a story that is similar in theme to the first, but ultimately not as narratively fulfilling. Matt.
Well, Kyle, if there is anything that CSI Crime Scene Investigation taught us in the early 2000s, it's that every good crime has a copycat. And someone is going to go out there and they're going to do that same crime again. The same rings true for video game-based white-collar crime. So, Super
What a
Fight Club
sentence.
brothers.
You're counting on a copycat happening.
Yeah.
And then
No, a
investigating
copycat has
that?
already happened. A copycat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you would let me finish, Kyle. Okay.
It's called Power Stone
So,
or whatever that shitty one that came out.
there's already been a copycat crime of this underground fight club. And you know what? There was media attention, Kyle, but it got buried. And it's no longer in the common vernacular, but it's still going strong. And, you know, some in the video game world would say it's still supported. It's still happening. It's called Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl. And we are going to have season 2 of Wondery's Super Fight Club Brothers. Wondery's Nickelodeon's All-Star Fight Club. Season 2. Here's the thing. Season 1 hinged on the idea that we all know who the guy is at the beginning. And the lackluster part of season 2 is we don't know this guy yet. And we're like pretty sure we're going to figure it out, but we don't know. You'll have to listen along to find out.
Tune in next week. Okay. You definitely got the theme of a season 2 of a true crime podcast down, for sure.
I know I answered the question.
Oh,
Nobody can tell me
sure
I
did.
didn't.
No.
Well, I'm over here trying to think of the other Super Smash Bros. Spin-offs, and now I can only think of the Nickelodeon one. It's the only one that's stuck in my head right now.
There is that one. Brawl Stars was the other one that I thought of. And Guacamelee. That's the other one. Guacamelee.
Guacamelee was not a fighter. It was a roguelike.
Oh, no
Or
shit.
no, it was a Metroidvania. Yeah, it's a really
Oh.
good game, actually. You should play it. You might like it.
What do you know?
Anyway.
Andrew, pitch us season 2.
In April of 2016, a subway conductor operating a loaded subway train in Tokyo suddenly dropped dead while he was driving, causing a catastrophic crash that injured many of the 80 riders on that train. During the same week, a bus driver inexplicably drove a bus full of passengers onto the opposite lane of traffic. Both incidents reported the victim experiencing significant psychotic breaks, seemingly out of nowhere. 1 month later, a high school gym teacher and coach to nationally recognized volleyball team suddenly resigned his position and, completely unprompted, admitted to years of sexual and emotional abuse of his students. Sugaru Kamoshida, formerly an Olympic athlete in his own right, publicly resigned his position at Shujin Academy because he had experienced a, quote, change of heart. Following his public resignation, Kamoshida offered himself up to the authorities. Could these inexplicable psychotic episodes actually be linked? If so, what kind of psychotic break would lead someone to abandon everything and suddenly admit to years of wrongdoing as if they'd suddenly grew conscious overnight? And how does all of this fit in with a team of anarchist activists and influencers known only as the Phantom Thieves that may or may not be led by a ne'er-do-well high school student? Find out on next season of Reach Out to the Truth. You'll never see it coming, the many masks of Rei Amamiya. It's Persona 5. I did Persona 5.
Persona 5, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Persona 5, but I could tell that was Persona 5.
Boom.
I mean, for what it's worth, like the concept of Persona 5 is cool.
Yeah, that
like,
sounded way more interesting than I expected.
I mean,
Persona
That's just
5
the
to
plot
sound.
of Persona 5. They're good games. I promise they're good games.
Okay,
They're
well,
weird,
I won't
but
go
they're
that
good
far.
games.
But they
Okay,
you
well, they are.
infiltrate people's heart palaces to change their heart to make them do good things.
Yeah, it's a JRPG, Todd. But
Isn't that Inception? That's what Inception is, right?
They're
Similar.
both based on Jungian psychology. It's just a JRPG
Okay.
based on a Jungian psychology 101 because Persona is idea of the Jungian's, the ego, the superego, the id.
So Jordan Peterson would really like these
Well,
games.
what you have to understand, I can't do the
That's
voice.
not even a voice. That ain't it.
A little more Kermit
Fuck
the
it.
Frog.
Up,
I have
up
it.
yours, liberals.
Oh yeah, it's this. Oh,
You'll
yeah,
never
it's
catch
this
me.
voice. You'll
Oh,
never catch
stop
me.
it. Stop it now.
All right, let's
The
mute
dream
Andrew's,
leaves are
let's
after
mute
your
Andrew's
children.
mic and hear Todd's season 2.
Yeah. So the reality here is that the many problems of Happy Happy Valley really does kind of set up a multi-part story, as the ending of Happy Happyism doesn't tell the full story of what happens to the evil Manny statue. And our first season spends a lot of time just sowing seeds of mystery over where the evil Manny statue ends up after the death of Mr. Carpenter. So in season 2, we follow the first-hand account of a small child as he finds himself once again in the same room as the evil Manny statue, but in a town known as Moonside. The only problem is that Moonside isn't a real place, and no one knows what became of the town that had once existed in its place. So find yourself transported in season 2 of the many problems of Happy Happy Valley, 4 sides of the same evil. So that is a joke just
That's good.
for
That's good. That's
Earthbound
really good. I
people.
like it. I like it a lot.
And here's the thing. Ultimately, this is not nearly as enjoyable of the first season because, spoiler for Earthbound, it's all a dream sequence and it's not real, more or less, for Moonside. Also, this could lead to a 3rd or 4th season, but if we're being really honest, it's all firsthand accounts from the kids that were there, and their stories are pretty unreliable because it sounds like psychedelic dreams and also nightmares and teleportation. And anyway, season 2, it's a dream sequence kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Lots of listeners, not a lot of quality.
As one of the 4 people that joke was for, I appreciate it.
4 sides of the same evil is
It was really good.
Yeah.
The town
really
is
good.
called Fourside.
Yeah,
yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
I got that.
It's the slippery UFO level in Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah.
That's
There
right.
it is. There it is.
Thank you guys for both picking games in my game. It helps me feel included.
All right. We are very close to choosing what is going to be our flagship true crime podcast here on the Debate This network. But to really drive it home and sell it, we want to get this ball rolling as soon as possible. So right here, right now, while we've got the mics rolling, I need you guys to cut me the mysterious and murky ad for this season that we will run in every ad break we can possibly get our ad dollars into in the build up to the premiere of the first episode of the season. We will hear those ads right after these ads.
Did you guys grow up watching MTV? Like I did.
Yeah, I mean, enough.
A little
I was a
bit.
little
TRL
bit more
after
like a
school.
VH1 guy, but yeah.
Yeah.
So like I was like an after school MTV guy as I got as I got through elementary, junior high, high school. And I remember they would show clips of like MTV Spring Break.
Okay.
And I specifically remember in 1996 they were showing MTV Spring Break, and they had showed a performance that got rained out. So the full band couldn't be there. So they had to have less of the band there. And so what we ended up with was Gavin Rossdale playing a shortened version of the song Glycerine.
Yeah.
And so what I'm talking about is a trimmed back bush. And so I want to tell you today about how Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 is here, everyone. And support for Debate This is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in the men's below the waist grooming. Is that the dumbest best lead-in you've ever heard?
It's pretty good.
I processed Gavin Rossdale and I was like, Bush. There it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You said Gavin Rossdale, and I was like, this is a Bush joke. And that's really funny because I never treat my bush like a joke. I always use a Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 when I'm trimming my giblets, because the 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4,000 LED spotlight, which we've talked about in previous episodes. It illuminates the gooch, and that's what's really important.
I, as an adult, have hit the point where I need to upgrade by underwear. It's been a couple years since I've purposely gone and bought pairs of underwear, and it's like, it's time.
Do all of yours have holes in them like mine do? And my wife keeps telling me to throw them away, and then I secretly put
No.
them back in the laundry before she sees.
And when you sneak them back in, you go, hee 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 hee, and
Yeah.
you sneak them back in. I don't do that.
It's just for daddy.
No. But what I will say is I have used the Manscaped boxers they've given us as the barometer of like, this is where the boxers have to be. They have to start here. This is the minimum cost of attendance here, because it's a good quality boxer. I was pretty surprised by that.
If you're looking for a good pair of like, you're going to do something athletic, you're actually going to like go outside and do things and probably sweat. Yeah, highly recommend. They feel really comfortable, and most importantly, they secure.
They secure and lift. Yeah.
Lift
They
and
lift and separate.
Lift and separate.
Shift.
Yeah.
Wow. Much like the 7 million people that were at Spring Break Rocks 1996, over 7 million men worldwide trust Manscaped. And I know that we are all of those 7 million men. We are Legion, and we are Manscaped.
And we smell good. My junk has smelled like sandalwood for the past 3 weeks. It's been great.
It's delightful.
Have we made a sticker for that yet? That specific sentence?
My junk smells like sandalwood.
Yeah.
I feel like Manscaped should. That's a hey, Manscaped, you gave us some free shit for
Yeah,
this
tit
ad,
for
but
tat.
you can have that one for free.
Here's a freebie. Yeah.
You guys know what else is free? Free shipping when you use the code DEBATETHIS, all
Yeah.
one word, in addition to 20% off at manscaped.com. Once more, without the joke, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code DEBATETHIS. That's DEBATETHIS. Unlock your confidence, and as always, use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. TM.
All right. We're back. Gentlemen, once again, we are just looking for your ad spot for the first season of your podcast so we can start tantalizing viewers and getting them ready to listen to your thrilling stories in the build up to the premiere. Matt, please lay your ad on us.
All right, Kyle. So it starts with that like kind of quiet and mysterious Wondery song that all of their ads start with. They're like boom, boom, boom. You know the one.
Yep.
Anyway, voiceover. Can a social organization even be considered a club if its members are sworn to secrecy? Audio cue. They told me the first rule was that I don't talk about it, and the second rule was also that I don't talk about it. Back to voiceover. A group of work colleagues turned against each other and forced to fight in ritual combat. Another audio cue. I hadn't seen them since our trip to the racetrack this summer, and now they're on top of me, spiking me into the ground. Back to voiceover. Brother against brother, and lover against lover. All's fair in this bloody war. Audio cue. It's a me, your brother. Back to voiceover. You know the names of the fighters, but who is the shadowy figure pulling the strings? Audio cue. So, you're finally ready to tell your story? Back to voiceover. Super Fight Club Brothers. New episodes every third Thursday. Listen ad-free on the Wondery Plus app.
Excellent. Good plug for the Wondery Plus app in there. Got ahead of that. Good work.
We've given Wondery so much free sponsorship.
Right.
We
Why
have.
isn't Wondery
have.
sponsoring us? This is
Yeah.
horseshit.
Okay, so Kyle, admittedly, I think I did this a different way, but I'm just gonna roll with it because fuck it. I'm 1/4 this podcast. I don't need to give a shit.
Yep.
So Persona 4, in addition, as part of the like living a normal college or normal high school life and doing social links and all that other stuff that you do in the game, you can do a side quest called the Aya Beef Bowl Challenge. And in order to complete the side quest, you need to have like really high social stats, which is things that you get from doing other quests or whatever. Doesn't
Sure.
So I think during the if I were to interpret this question incorrectly and say, what if I did an ad during the show instead of for the show? It would go something like advertising. So there's an actual chain called Yoshinoya that is from Japan, but they have a bunch of spots in LA that is like a beef bowl, gyudon beef bowl place. And they do stuff like this. So I think it would be a cool co-promote to advertise for Yoshinoya. Like, so talk about during the show, you Narukami doing the beef bowl challenge, or and then having an ad come on and be like, it takes a level 5 in courage, understanding, knowledge, and diligence to complete the Yoshinoya Beef Bowl Challenge. Do you have what it takes? And that'd be like a fun co-promote with Persona.
And okay, I like beef bowls, so I'm into it. Yeah,
I can't hear what you're saying, Andrew, without thinking of Yobagoya.
Yes,
The Taste will destroy ya.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's based off of. I'm pretty sure.
No way.
I don't doubt it.
Which is which? Which came first?
I think Yobagoya's might be taken off Yoshinoya. I mean, I imagine
Feels
if it's,
like
it's a chain in LA. Everything's written in LA. I have to imagine that they're probably connected.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a coincidence to me.
It's not a far stretch to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Todd, give us your ad.
Things were simpler in the year 1990X, but simple towns hide terrible secrets. Behind freshly painted blue shutters and walls, Happy Happy Valley hides a dark secret. A cult has a stranglehold on this town, but dig deeper to find a story of kidnapping, alien artifacts, brainwashing, synchronized line dancing, and religious idolatry. Join us on this 6-part limited series brought to you by Gizmodo and Wondery, titled The Manny Manny Problems of Happy Happy Valley, to find the connection between Quiet Valley life, the color blue, and underground cult activity that can only be stopped by a small child with seemingly endless psychic powers. Because that's the story of Earthbound.
Excellent. Fantastic work, guys. Well, I'm going to listen to these ads, look over the notes I kind of took while you were describing your podcasts to me, and I'm going to pick which one of these shows is going to be our flagship show on the Debate This True Crime Network. Before I go off and do that, though, just give me one last, just sum up your show in one sentence. Give us the tagline, the elevator pitch, whatever you want to give us. Just give us the quick, snappy sell of your show. Matt.
Yeah, you got it, Kyle. Too easy. Super Fight Club Brothers. A new challenger has entered the arena. Its name is Crime. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm not gonna lie. I think that came out pretty well.
That's really good.
That was good. Andrew.
I mean, I've pretty much already said it, but to wrap up the story of Persona 4 and frankly any Persona, it's fighting demons, mind demons with the power of friendship, using the power of mind robots, representing mind powers, also representing mind demons, also high school kids.
Great. And Todd.
I've got to leave you with this, Kyle. Yo, listen up. Here's a story about a little guy that deals with a blue cult. And all day and all night, an evil statue speaks to a man. So now, everything is blue and evil, like him, inside and outside. Blue that house with a blue little market and a blue welcome sign, and everything is evil for him and himself and everybody around, because he only has an evil statue to listen to.
You did a really good job of doing the weird enunciation off syllables.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't want to immediately give it away that it's me talking about
you
Eiffel
immediately
65.
Gave it away. Nobody didn't know that it wasn't.
Was it the yo, listen up, here's a story?
Yeah, it was
that
exactly as soon as you
That's fair.
started.
A song also from 1990X.
Yeah. It was just the word listen because you said yo, and I was like, well, it's Blue or the Fresh Prince theme song. And then you said listen, and it wasn't Fresh Prince. So,
The binary choice was in Matt's mind. It had to go either
One or the
a 1
other.
or a 0.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna go look over these notes I kind of scrawled on a napkin here, do some research of my own, see if any of these have been the topics of other popular media or anything. So while I'm off figuring out which of these shows to pick, please give us your good vibes.
Yeah, great job, guys. We really did hit the nail on the head as far as the 3 branches of true crime being white collar, straight up murder, and cult activity. I will say, Todd, you hit the type of true crime I like the best with cult activity.
Same.
Boy, do I love to listen to people who got out of cults. It's
Right?
just, it's a personal favorite true crime genre of mine. And Andrew and Todd both, I think that if I had been more familiar with the games you were talking about today, a lot of your jokes would have hit me way harder. Because I think that after you told me why your things were called the things they were called and wrote it out for me, I thought that it was all very good. I just don't really know much about Earthbound or Persona to get the bit. But I think we all did a good true crime, and I think someone else probably laughed at you more than I did today.
That's fair. Matt, I love the idea of a Theranos style doc that's with fucking Mario and Luigi. That's very funny. I would not have thought to go that direction, but I'm really happy that you did. I'm glad we got to represent in my mind, I guess it is a podcast. I was thinking more that's like a Netflix doc thing, but it's certainly like a podcast thing too, for sure. And Todd, yeah, the cults, the Happy cult was a great pick. I too am a huge fan of cult docs. That's my Achilles heel as well when it comes to this kind of content. So that, and I love Earthbound, so that was very much for me. Yeah, this was fun.
It's not a true crime series, but there is a series where one person did a documentary over every president of the United States, one episode for each president. It was like a deep dive into that president. And that's kind of what you gave us, Matt, but different and probably more enjoyable.
We should get them to do flavor texts.
It would be. I mean, they did run out of episodes.
There were only 46 topics of discussion.
Well, there were only, by my count, it was 45. Then the whole thing, Anyway, so Matt, I like the idea of having a personal episode for each individual fighter in a unraveling the thread of this fight club. Very, very good. Andrew, I want to like Persona more than I think I do. Every bit of it, I think, is enjoyable in the sense that it's probably a very fine game. A lot of times when you talk about Persona, I just hear a high-pitched squealing noise, and then it turns into Nana say come man. And the parts that I got today, I think I would like your story as a podcast, as a serial horror mystery podcast, but it's that high-pitched squealing of the mascot. Once you said the mascot bit, it was tough.
Yeah, you just kind of have to lean into it.
I don't know why they did that.
Numbing yourself helps a lot.
Well, guys, thank you. I have made a decision what we are going to launch our Debate This True Crime Network with, but let's start with who did not make the cut. Matt, unfortunately, we will not be leading with, what is it? What was the title of your show?
I'm going to tell you after you told me you're not. You don't even know the title.
I'm not fired. You're fired. I quit.
We really like the concept. We really do think the organized crime, white collar aspect of it is attractive to a lot of listeners. However, we aren't confident we want to lead our network off with a meandering 90-episode podcast that doesn't reveal anything concrete about the crime until the very last episode. Perhaps we will pick you up for bonus content or once the network has its feet under it a little bit more, but for our flagship show, unfortunately, we are going to have to pass today. This is not because a horse head appeared in my bedroom as I was deliberating over this answer. Full disclosure.
Legally, he has to say that.
Legally, I have to say that. That takes us, Andrew. We will not be picking up the Persona 4 mystery podcast, and that is because Yoshinoya reached out to us and put a cease and desist on
it's unfortunate.
On the beef noodles ad that we wanted to run. I'm sorry. So Todd, the Manny secrets of Happy Valley, many problems
we're running with it
of Happy Valley. Will be our flagship show on the Debate This True Crime Network. Get researching because we want to launch this
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, good.
That is going to do it for us today at Debate This. Thank you for listening. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Debate This Cast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. If you are interested in more Debate This content, We are unfortunately not actually launching a true crime network, but consider checking out our YouTube channel at Debate This Cast. There you will find our entire episode backlog and also an archive of past streams. For example, the playthrough of Doki Doki Literature Club that we recently did that made Todd very upset, that we present to you as a thank you to our listeners who left reviews on Spotify and other podcast apps.
I think it made everyone pretty upset.
Yeah, I was pretty upset,
Yeah,
too.
but Todd especially.
Yeah, well, vibes are bad.
The vibes were bad. You can also check us out at patreon.com/debatethiscast. Like I said earlier, get access to our Discord, the show notes from each episode, extended good vibes for each Debate This episode, as well as bonus shows and content. Also, the opportunity to commission your own flavor texts, where we do deep dive book reports on the topic of your choosing.
Yeah, we've got 45 presidents, so hit us up. 46.
Well,
Well, 46,
we stopped.
45,
I think
depending
they
on
stopped
your-
the show recording at 44 for reasons.
No. Until next time, I'm Kyle Harper.
I'm Matt. If DBZ is true crime, then Patreon's just a spirit bomb. Cole.
And I'm Andrew. You'll never see it coming. You'll see that my mind, too fast for eyes. It's like you're done in. By the time it's hit you, your last surprise. Henderson.
And I'm Todd. Someone willing to speak under the condition of anonymity is quoted saying, Pika. Thomas.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.